We've got an easy recipe, minimal ingredients, big expectations, and a very surprising total at the fish market checkout. But today we are making authentic Maryland crab cakes, and by the end, we're going to decide, are they worth it? Welcome back to 50 States,
50 Plates,
where we explore America one plate at a time. Each week we choose a different state and we choose a famous regional dish from that state. We get to taste America without ever leaving our kitchen. And as you know, we have Maryland this week. Last week we had Washington and we really enjoyed that one. If you missed it, I will link it here. Also, if you sent in pictures from Washington, stay tuned because at the end we'll share your pictures. And then if you have pictures from Maryland, please go ahead and send those to me because we will feature them next week. Just email me at mystate@mandyinthemaking.com. It was very easy to choose the recipe this week because y'all told me to. Everywhere on the internet said we needed to make crab cakes. And you don't just make crab cakes any old way. You have to get lump crab meat. It would be even better if we got blue crab, but we live in South Carolina. All of that is not easily accessible. So we just went through all of this crab and there was 3 tiny pieces that we had to remove and that was it. I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the crab and the meticulous process that they went through to get all of the shell and everything out. They did a really good job. So we've got 1 pound of lump crab meat. We're setting that to the side for now because we need to mix up all of the other ingredients first. Let's add a couple of eggs. Now we're going to use Duke's mayo. We need about 2.5 tablespoons of Duke's. There's 1. That should be about 2.5. So we need about 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. We need some Dub sauce. We love Dub sauce in this house. It adds so much flavor. We just need like a teaspoon. So we need about 1 teaspoon of this Old Bay seasoning. I am going to measure that out just to make sure we get it right. We need some salt, 1/4 teaspoon. We've got 1 stalk of celery that we've finely diced. I say we. He finely diced. He did this before I even came in here. We're going to add that in. It's about 1/4 cup. Just to note, apparently celery is an optional thing. You don't have to add that, but this particular recipe I found has it, so we're going with it. And this recipe, just so you know, there's a gazillion recipes out there for this, but this one had really great reviews, so we're going with it. So we've got some parsley growing in our backyard, and I went and grabbed some of that, and then we chopped that up. So I'm gonna add that in. So let's just go ahead and mix all of that together. I have a fun little story about this crab meat right here. I had to call around. I went to several stores. I had to call around, and I found one market that had this one thing left. They said, we have 1 thing of lump crab meat left. I said, I'm on my way. So I get there and there was an empty spot for the lump crab meat. And I was like, they already sold it. I was so upset. And then he said, can I help you? I said, I called a few minutes ago. He said, oh, I put it in the back so nobody would take it. So here we are, $49.50 later, here we are.
Oh my goodness.
It was so expensive, but I'm excited to give it a try. You know, I love the smell of crab. My mouth is watering. I need some hot butter to just dip this in right now. So we need this big old spatula because we're going to add in the crab meat. Again, we've already checked it for all of the shell and all of that. So we've got 1 pound of crab meat going in. I don't want to waste any of this. It's like gold.
Yeah.
I feel like we paid for gold. Okay, let's go ahead and start mixing this up. And then we're going to also add in some panko breadcrumbs here in just a second. And you want to try and not shred this up, so very gently mixing this together.
Guess that's the only cake you want lumps in?
Yeah, probably so. Although a lot of my cakes have lumps. We don't necessarily want them, but they're there. So I have to tell you, we love a crab cake. A lot of times if it's an appetizer at a restaurant, we'll get it. We love it. However, I've never attempted to make it. I've made like salmon patties before, but never crab cakes. So when I was doing my research about Maryland, I noticed that number 1, you really kind of need to use blue crab. Again, we're using what we can. You want to use lump crab meat, no imitation stuff. It's very expensive. But there is a rule in Maryland that if you see any breadcrumbs in your crab cake, you've used too many. They have like a no filler rule. It's mostly crab.
They're gonna hit you big with the crab.
That's right. And also you have to use Old Bay seasoning. So we always have that on hand, not a problem. And then something else I found very interesting about Maryland is in Crisfield, Maryland. It is known as the seafood capital of the world. Panko breadcrumbs, we only need about 1/2 cup. So I'm gonna measure it here. We'll add about half of it, mix it, and then add the rest. So if you've made crab cakes, how often do you make them? It's an expensive thing to make. I feel like it's something that you would want to make for company coming over. But maybe up in Maryland, you have access to crab a whole lot easier than we do down south. So maybe you make these more often. I don't know. Let me know.
Seems like pretty easy to make. I mean.
Yeah. The thing is, with this recipe especially, it says in order for everything to bind together really well, we need to patty them out and stick them in the fridge. We're going to cover them, stick them in the fridge for like an hour, which is great. We can let them just kind of rest. And then during that time, I'm going to make some tartar sauce because I am a sucker for tartar sauce with seafood. So I want some tartar sauce with my crab cakes today. All right, I think they're pretty well mixed. Again, I don't want to chop up that crab meat too much. So I think we're ready to patty these out.
Sunshine on my mind.
I'll need to wear this one. We choose Florida as well.
Yeah.
It's the sunshine state. Okay, let's take our crab meat. And it says we're gonna make about 6 crab cakes. And it says it's about half a cup each. So since I have this half a cup measure out, might as well just use it, you know. These are very, what's the word? Juicy. We won't use the M word. We don't use that word around here. Very juicy. So let's see if we can kind of mold this into a crab cake.
Probably gonna be a little more juicy. I just have to torture you a little bit. It's part of my job as husband, as chief aggravator.
I'm pretty sure you have parsley on your nose, just to FYI. It's right there. Okay, zoom in a little bit. There you go. It's right on the... There you go. No, oh, you didn't get it. Try it again. Oh, it is milk. Oh, you got it. You got it. You know, he annoys me.
Role. My role is aggravator. Your role is
To point out
all my flaws. I mean, to help me with all my parsley on my nose. Okay, that's right.
we make a great team. Okay, there's one. Let's keep going. So now I need to cover them. I was gonna use cling wrap, but I was scared that it would kind of stick to it too much. So I'm gonna kind of tent cover them if possible. And these are going in the fridge for an hour. So the official boat of Maryland, yes, I just said the official boat. It is called the Skipjack. It is a traditional oyster dredging sailboat that they've used in Chesapeake Bay for over 100 years. It is time to make the tartar sauce. So I've got some curly parsley here. Fun fact, the other day I did a Instacart order and my shopper was supposed to get cilantro. They got curly parsley, so we're just gonna use it. Usually I like to do fresh dill, but I don't have any fresh dill on hand, so we can do parsley instead. So let me chop this up. I've made this tartar sauce before. It's my favorite one. It's from Natasha's Kitchen. It's her recipe. It's so good. So believe me when I say you need to make this one. Okay, we're gonna do about a half a cup of mayo. I'm only making like half of the amount that she makes in her recipe. Now I'm cheating and using dill relish. The recipe just says to chop up some dill pickles, but if you can get dill relish, just use that. We're gonna use a good bit of this.
No, I mentioned sweet relish a while ago, and I thought she was gonna kick me out of the house.
He had sweet relish out, and I said, what was that for? He said, for the tartar sauce. I said, now we've used sweet relish, but I like especially since we didn't have any fresh dill on hand, I want the flavor of dill.
Honestly,
for sure.
I prefer dill relish myself.
Yeah. Okay, good bit of that.
I grabbed the wrong one.
So we're supposed to use about the same amount of the dill pickles as mayo. So there we go, got that. Then you can use onion, red onion, yellow onion, but we had a shallot on hand, so my husband very sweetly diced that for me.
And the shallot, that dices up a lot better too.
Yeah.
You can really get them tiny.
So we only need a couple tablespoons of that, like a teaspoon of sugar and lemon juice. We only need like about a teaspoon, maybe a little less. Gotta put some pepper in there.
What about this?
Oh yeah, we gotta add the parsley in. You're right. Look, I'm already forgetting it. It's literally right there. Hi. We probably don't need all of that. I'm gonna add in about that much. My favorite part. I get to taste it. I love tartar sauce. Love, love, love it. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so good on the crab cakes.
To it.
Yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna put a lid on this and stick it in the fridge, and we'll be back in an hour. We are doing a pan fry today of our crab cakes, but in a lot of like high-end restaurants in Maryland, they broil their crab cakes, which I thought was very interesting. It says it keeps them delicate and highlights the sweetness of the crab. So, just a heads up. So if you go to a restaurant in Maryland and it's a nicer restaurant, chances are your crab cakes are not fried, they're broiled. Broiled. All right, we're ready. Are y'all ready?
I'm ready.
It still smells like crab in here. I'm ready to eat. Let's do it. They look good. They smell good. We, and by we, I mean Steven, is going to shallow fry these in this skillet. So we need to heat the skillet up to about medium high. And we're gonna add, you can use vegetable oil. We have canola oil, that's what we're using.
We just want to kind of cover the bottom here.
You ready?
Here we go. I'll try to be as gentle as I can with these.
Yeah. I'm hoping, ooh, listen to that. I'm hoping that that hour really kind of helps keep them together and they don't fall apart on us, but we'll see. Okay, you think you can get 3 in there at a time?
I think 3 maybe.
Okay.
Probably tops.
Yeah. Okay.
Really be careful putting them in.
Now some of them look like they're falling, that one looks like it's falling apart a little bit.
We'll be extra gentle.
All right.
When they cook a little bit,
Yeah, they'll,
start crisping up
Yeah.
a little bit, they'll hold a little bit better.
yeah,
So
true. We just need to leave them alone for at least 3 minutes. We'll check at them. We'll check at them. We'll check at them.
we'll check at it.
After 3 minutes and just kind of see where we're at. He's got a brand new shirt, y'all, and I said, please don't get oil on there. So he's putting on an apron because this is starting to splatter just a little bit.
I'm gonna tie this like a samurai.
Oh my. So it's been about 3 minutes. They're getting a little crispy. Yes, that's nice.
That looks really good.
Look at that. Okay, about 3 to 5 more minutes. So Maryland is known for their blue crabs, and they often will have a crab boil, also known here as a bowl. But there is a very specific way that locals eat the crab. Not just eat them, but the way they kind of clean them and I guess crack them. Do you know the name of the small wooden tool that they use to crack their crab? Round 2. So he rotates them in the pan as they're cooking, just because, you know, it's always hotter in the very center versus on the outside. So he just kind of rotates them as they're doing their thing so that they evenly cook and look real pretty everywhere, right?
That's right.
What you think about my presentation? What do you give it?
All right. I give it a 10.2 out of 10.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Oh boy. Let's do it without the tartar sauce first.
Yeah, true taste without the tartar.
Let's see what we got here. Man. Wow. Crispy, delicious crab.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Seasonings are on point.
Oh, good. It sounds nice and crispy and crunchy on the outside.
That is amazing.
Yay, I'm so glad. We did not waste our money.
Nice. I love the contrast of textures with the crispiness and then the soft
Crab on the
crab
inside.
inside. I don't know if I've ever had tartar sauce with crab before. Oh, wow.
Is that good?
Yeah. That is really good.
All right, sir. I love you, but you've almost finished an entire crab cake and I haven't had a single bite.
I'm going to hurry up then.
You better, boy. So the answer to our question about the tool that they use to crack their crab, it's called a crab mallet. We were just using a mallet on the back porch yesterday, but it wasn't a crab mallet.
You know, sometimes when you go to the restaurant and you get crab cakes, you get a little, they rob you a little bit.
Yeah, it's like really shredded, really fine, and
Right.
it's almost, yeah.
These are some big hunks of crab.
I love crab cakes.
It is so delicious. Good stuff. Easy to do as well. The hardest part was frying them up.
They're just expensive.
Right, that's true.
But, okay, that's a really great recipe.
That is
Those are
delicious.
so meaty. Most crab cakes that I feel like I've gotten have a lot of breadcrumb
Right.
and have a lot of filler
Yes.
in them. This is mostly crab, which
Right.
you would
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah, this
But,
is the way to go.
wow.
Yeah. Maryland crab cakes for the win.
Yeah, the crab cakes,
The
they're
crab
great.
the crab cakes.
They're great.
I'm about to pop. I've had 3 of them.
I'm finishing number 2. Very filling, for sure. And I have to say, I did not see one breadcrumb. I feel like we did Maryland and their no filler rule. We did them proud. I did not see a single breadcrumb. It was mostly just crab with some flavoring.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with how this turned out, sweetheart.
Yeah, me too.
Boom. All right, sweetheart, it is time to consult Grandmom's cookie jar.
It is. Let's see what it has to
What are we
say
gonna
today.
think? What are we going with here? I'm going back to Louisiana on this one.
Why was I about to say Louisiana too?
Well, let's see.
I legit was going to say Louisiana.
This is going to be crazy if you draw Louisiana.
I've got one.
All right, let's see what happens. Ooh, we are going to the fantastic, wonderful state of Virginia.
Look, they are not what I would call a southern state, but they're just like right above southern. So I feel like there's probably some southern parts of Virginia. But then you have the parts that are closer to like DC and things like that.
Some people up yonder that disagree with you.
They might be. You have
Might
to
be
let me know.
controversial.
I don't know. You have to let me know. I don't consider Virginia. It's not the deep South, that's for sure.
Right.
But I don't really consider Virginia southern.
I think they fall kind of into the South there.
I think they're like teetering.
You think so?
Yeah, but
All right.
what are we gonna make for Virginia?
I have no clue. Virginia, you got mountains. It's beautiful up there in the mountains.
That's
Oh,
where is that where
mountains.
Liberty University is? It's in Virginia.
Is it Liberty? Maybe in Virginia, and then there's
Is it
yeah.
Lynchburg, Virginia? Am I making up
Possibly.
things? I don't know. Then what
I got
else?
some kinfolks in Virginia.
We do. Mara and Anthony are up there with their farm, and they just got a brand new little pig up there. So
They
look,
do.
they're bringing the South to Virginia. They're from here.
Right.
They're in Virginia, and they've got a whole little farm going on. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea.
I
So
have no clue. We'll
y'all
have
tell
to
me.
consult the chat there.
Yeah, well, y'all tell me, and then we will do our research as well, and we'll see what we have for Virginia. We were debating what color we should make Maryland. We're gonna go with like a red-orange color, kind of like a crab color. I know it's blue crab, but we have a lot of blue already on the East Coast, so we're gonna go with more of a crab color. But I said all that to say, now it's time to look at your pictures from Washington. Last week we were all the way over there. Now we're all the way over here. I was looking at Massachusetts. All right, so Maryland it is. Now, is that part of Maryland down here too?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I don't know. It has like a line though.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Might have to consult
Yeah,
the
let me
old
look.
Google.
We consulted, and I'm glad we did, because you know what? That does not belong to Maryland. We got to leave that alone. I think that's part of Virginia. So this is an odd shaped state, I have to say.
Right.
But it shouldn't take too long. Okay, I think I got it all.
That's pretty.
It is pretty. That's a strange shape for a state.
Oh yeah, but you did a great job.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, so then
We literally just go one state down.
one state down, and
Whoop.
there we are in Virginia next week.
Yep. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That really does help out my channel. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you next week in Virginia. Bye, y'all.